Master Monster Bella speaks, entitled The Subservience Machine. Again, born into control, born into subservience, born into mind control, born into the educated delusion of freedom, born into patriarchal rules binding you, suffocating you, born into the illusion of equality, born into a discriminatory constitution, born into a rat race, born to disillusionment, born into propriety, born into hierarchical class system, born into political correct hypocrisy, born into inherited rights and freedoms, born into wealth, born into the judiciary, born into politics, born into systemic control, born into poverty, born into suffering, born into abandonment, born into a neglectful system, born into egocentricity, born into celebrity, born into selfish way of thinking, born into royalty, born into superiority, born into elitist society, born into slavery, born into subservience, born into control, born into the invisible unknown, born into the silence screaming, born into existence unseen, born into remembrance abandoned, notoriously born anonymously, born into the cavalry, born into the military, born into the war machine, born into sacrificial slavery, born into consumerism, born into economic slavery, born into economic dependence upon the consumerism machine, born into money, born into reliance upon monetary value, born into materialistic thinking, born into slavery, born into homelessness, born into namelessness, born into meaningless suffering, born into originality, born into creativity, born into imagination, born into spirituality, born into awareness, born into religion, born into the doctrine, born into the scripture, born into mass paranoia, born into religious slavery, born into monetary religious belief, born into genocidal activities, born into lack of humanity, born into propaganda, born into the brainwash, born into the matrix, born into comfort, born into tragedy, born into experience, born to suffering, born to survival, born to live, born to disagree, born to rebel, born to believe. End.